and welcome to Logan Sounds Off, where I talk about books, music, and a whole lot more. I'm your host, Logan Kelly. Hello and welcome to Logan Sounds Off. Today I'm going to be reviewing 3 books. Heroes of Olympus, The Lost Hero, written by Riordan, Skulduggery Present 1 by Landy, and Arrivals by Brien Gallagher. So we're going to start off with Heroes of Olympus, The Lost Hero. So The Lost Hero is about these kids who are just like together in this wilderness school, which is where loads of kids who are bad or juvenile, they would stay there and they'd be taught how to be better at things. And they were on a field trip, and then basically a Greek monster came and tried to kill them. And then they were brought to this camp called Camp Half-Blood. For all Percy Jackson readers, you'll know what this is. For other people, I'm just going to explain. It's like this camp where demigods go to be taught Greek mythology and archery and sword fights and history and stuff, and all as well as, let's say, doing schoolwork and stuff. So it's quite hard. Anyways, they then go on loads of adventures and everything. And it's good because it kind of moves from different characters. Like one of the main characters is Jason. It'll say like chapter 1 Jason and chapter 2 Jason, because it's talking about Jason's perspective. Let's say like Jason spilled ice cream on his t-shirt. I spilled ice cream on my t-shirt. Leo laughed at me. If Leo done it, it would be Jason spilled ice cream on his t-shirt. I laughed at him. So I like the way it kind of shows from different angles. So that's a really good book. Heroes of Olympus, The Lost Hero. And Riordan altogether is an amazing author. He's wrote The King Chronicles, and I checked out The Red Pyramid. I didn't read it all, but I read a good bit, and it was pretty good how much I read. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? There was also Magnus Chase. I haven't read that yet. Percy Jackson. That was amazing. Literally mind-blowing. I read the whole series, and I never had a book that I didn't like. I've never had trouble with Percy Jackson. That's good. There's another 4 Heroes of Olympus, and I haven't read them, but I've seen like a lot of them in let's say libraries and stuff. So I probably think it will be quite good. And then you've also got the Trials of Apollo, and I think there's at least 5. Because I remember 4, and there's a new one that came out, and the Tower of Nero, that came out around the time of this recording. So that one's new for me. So there's definitely around 5. But anyways, Riordan, very good author. I love his stuff. So it's really good to see these books, and like it says on the front cover, this is stuff for legends. It definitely is. I think it's 500 pages or something, but it was a really good read. Like a really good read. Yeah, 550 kind of pages. Percy Jackson is in the next book, so definitely check out Heroes of Olympus and The Son of Neptune after you read this. If you don't like The Lost Hero, you still should check out the next one, because it will be interesting to see what Percy Jackson is like in the next one. I haven't read it yet, but I'm definitely going to look out for it. Very good book though. I'd rate it a very, very strong 4-star. And the only thing that I want to say about this is it's kind of hard to get your head around. Like, I had to read the first chapter a couple of times till I finally got, oh, that's where they are. Oh, now it's all coming together. So it's just a bit hard sometimes to piece together. Or I thought that anyways. Next book. This is one of the most famous books in the world. Skulduggery Present. written by the hilarious man Derek Landy. I think he's so funny and he doesn't even know it. So this is the blurb from the new edition. That's what I have right here. Stephanie's uncle Gordon is a writer of horror fiction, but when he dies and leaves her his estate, Stephanie learns that while he may have written horror, it certainly wasn't fiction. Pursued by evil forces, Stephanie finds help from an unusual source, the wisecracking skeleton of a dead sorcerer. This was amazing. Off the charts. I read the first page and I just went, I'm going to be hooked on this series. There's 15 books, including the new one for now. Well, the newest one at the time of this recording, called Until the End, and the little sub-caption is, the world isn't going to save itself. I'm like, the first sentences are extremely funny. Like, Gordon Eggley's sudden death came as a shock to everyone, not least himself. One moment he was in a study, 7 words into the 25th sentence of the final chapter of his new book, and the darkness reigned upon them. And the next he was dead. A tragic loss, his mind echoed numbly as he slipped away. Very, very funny stuff. Derek Landy has wrote Skulduggery, Pleasant, and Demon Road, and then he done like some other books, like he done like some sequels. Sorry, God, that took me a long time. Sequels, yeah. He done a lot of sequels, like Tanith Low in The Maleficent 7 and Armageddon Out of Here, and other stuff like The End of the World and stuff. That was part of Armageddon Out of Here, and I have Armageddon Out of Here, and it's fantastic. But back to Skulduggery Pleasant. It's kind of complex in the later books, and they do get quite dark, actually. I did have to take a break. I've read up to number 11 now, and I'm on number 12, and they're really good. But they get dark, but if you can handle it, you'll definitely enjoy this book. I think the age rating is like 10 to... They say 12 to 15s, but a 10-year-old can reach. Sure, I'm 10 and I read it about half a year ago. And it was amazing. I just didn't find it that dark. But just still, check out the first chapter, see are you okay with it, and then continue reading. It's one of those books that you just need to be careful on. But they're still really, really good. A very good introduction to tween fiction. And I really enjoyed this book altogether. I give it a 5 stars. If I could give it a 6, I would. But as I always say, that's not how maths works. So the last book I got, I found it on a bookshelf in my school, and I read it, and I thought it was amazing. It was called Arrivals by Brien Gallagher. Brien Gallagher is one of the best authors that I've ever heard of. Derek Landy, Rick Riordan, Brien Gallagher, J.K. Rowling, they're all at the top. And then you've got other authors like Patricia Murphy, who are amazing as well. All them authors as well. So there's a lot of good authors. And he was one of them, Brien Gallagher. He wrote Resistance, which is a new book, or fairly new, 2020. And in that, it was about if the Nazis occupied Ireland, so that was really interesting to read. I loved that book. Big 5 star on that one. I think I've done a book review on that before, so I'm going to check that out. So, back to Arrivals anyway. This is based in 1920s Canada, where a couple of kids make friends, and they discover a murder crime, and they're trying to stop this man. I think it's a gangster, I'm not very sure, who killed someone for like these items that were quite illegal. I quite forget a lot of the book, and if I had it on hand with me now, it would be really helpful, but I don't. Like the other two are right next to me, but I don't know Arrivals, because I didn't buy that one, and that one I read it in my school library. So that was amazing, though. I felt a lot of emotion reading some of it. If it was a film, it would definitely be very violent at parts. but it's definitely very kid friendly. Very kid friendly. It's not funny because it's history fiction type thing, so it's not funny. It's kind of historical. It's supposed to be serious, but there's the odd thing that you kind of go, God, that's dark. God, that's because there are a couple of parts in it that are quite a bit dark, but you can still read it no problem. It's an amazing book. There's a lot of characters in it that you need to remember. There's all the mums and dads, a lot of the students in one of the particular things, some of the gangsters, some of the teachers. It's just kind of hard to wrap your head around some of the parts, but altogether it's a really good book. The prologue, I think it had a prologue, or it was like preface or something. I don't know, but anyways, there was something there, and it showed what happened with the gangster murder, and it was very interesting to link everything up together. So Arrivals was a very good book for me because it was tricky, but it had a lot of the introductions and stuff kind of helped you along the way, and the epilogues and stuff. So at parts it was very helpful. So I really, really, really love this book. I definitely would recommend this to any history fans. Like if you've read Rick Riordan and stuff, and if you don't really mind if something's not funny, you'll definitely love Brian Gallagher. I'm not saying that he's a really serious, only human man. He's really nice and all, but his books are sometimes quite serious because you have to be serious about some of these things. And it was just amazing to read about 1920s Canada and about schoolboys and stuff. It was just very interesting to read something that's not about World War II or World War I or about any wars that were quite big. This was a tiny disagreement about a girl who lived on an island and they tried to take over. That was one of the sides to the story. Brian Gallagher has a lot of sides to the story, so that's why I love this book, and I definitely give it a 4.9 stars. There was just 0.1 part where I wasn't too mad about, but if I was more generous, I'd definitely give it a 5. So it was really, really, really good reading these books, guys. I hope you enjoy them. All the titles will be down below. So please check them out. Comment in the comments below and tell me what do you think, because I'd love to know. And tell me how many stars you give it. I'd love to see how many stars you give it. Give us our own little mini ratings in the comments. We'll start up a little thing. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of Logan Sounds Off. You can follow me on X, Facebook and Instagram at Logan Sounds Off. And don't forget to subscribe and not miss any more cool episodes. Bye guys!